Welcome to the ROCK's online worship experience. You are getting ready to experience God on another level. Whatever you're seeking from God for your life is available for you as you praise, hear the word, and transform your situation. While you're worshiping with us online, feel free to interact with our online ministers in the chat and share this broadcast with your family and friends so they can join you online. Also, make sure you subscribe to Dana Carson on YouTube and follow the Reflections of Christ's Kingdom on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the ROCK is doing. Now, shake off the worries and the stress of the week and get ready to give God praise. Service will begin soon.
So here you have, now, he works an additional 7 years and he gets Rachel. So he works 14 years to get both daughters, and then he serves 6 years as a shepherd for Laban. And those 6 years, Laban's flock, his herd, everything he touched blossomed and prospered. And now Jacob was ready to go back home. And he went to Laban and he said, I'm ready to go back home. And Laban said, please don't go. I'll pay you whatever you want. I'll pay you anything. Name the price. He said, no. I've prospered. I don't want anything. I want to go. He says, oh, I just really need you. Please stay and help me with the flock. And then he says, name a price? What would you have? He said, well, look, then give me the spotted and the speckled and the brown sheep. So he said, give me all of the undesirable ones. Give me the undesirable of the sheep and the goats. And because he's trying to just be lowball. I don't really want nothing. But this is what happens. Because God's hand was on his life and the providential plan of God was in operation, God blessed the spotted and the speckled and the brown, and they became more numerous than any. So then he just began to prosper, the Bible says. He just became extremely prosperous. And now what happens is Laban's sons get jealous. And they say, Daddy, this man done took you. He took you like a real sucker. He's prospering, and now your sons ain't going to have nothing. Everything we have now almost belongs to him. And so now Laban became upset with Jacob, and he looked disfavorable upon him. So now here is Jacob. Now understand, now he's already in trouble back home. Now his rescue home is in trouble now. And so now everything he touches, God blesses. And so now he says, listen, he got the wives and the kids. He said, let's go. Let's get up out of here. Let's run. So now he's on the run from Laban and Esau. Now, Laban gets his men and they go looking for him, because when Jacob left, he took all that was his, but his daughters took some idol gods with them and put them in the horse saddles, because they had to bring along their gods. And Laban went after Jacob, and he caught up with Jacob, but before he got there, he had a dream by God. And God says, listen, don't you speak evil or good to Jacob, which means don't mess with Jacob. God spoke to him. And then Laban told Jacob, God told me not to do anything to you, but I want everything that's mine. And he's like, whatever's yours, you can have. That's why I got the speckled, the spotted, and the brown, because if anything that was white or another color, you would know that it's yours. And if it was among mine, that meant that I stole from you. He says, so search. They searched, couldn't find nothing because his daughters were slick. And this is just a slick family, man. Slick begot slick. So they searched every place, all the houses. And while they were searching the houses, the daughter took the idol god, got it out the house, put it in the horse's saddle where they didn't check. Then after they checked, Laban said, hey, there's nothing here. Jacob said, I told you I wouldn't steal from you. Now Jacob going off. I told you I wouldn't steal from you. I told you that wouldn't be nothing here. Why would you do me like this after I worked for you 20 years? He said, hey, settle down. He said, let's make a covenant. So they make a covenant. But now he's on his way back. He's on his way back home to see Esau. And he's afraid. Because he knew what he had done. And so now he's on his way back home, running from his past. And now the only reason he's going back home because God told him to. God said, go back home. And now he has to send word to his mother and his brother Esau, said, we're coming home. We're coming back to family. We're going to love family. We're coming back home. And he sends word to Esau, and word comes back to Jacob that Esau has 400 men coming to meet you. And so Jacob split up his family. And he put him, he says, well, if he attacks this part of us, at least that part gets to run free. And so the Bible says in chapter 33 that in verse 3, when he saw Esau coming afar off, that he bowed down 7 times, which was the protocol of one who had an audience with the superior. And he called Esau my Lord. And because he was trying to make things right. And he didn't know whether or not Esau was going to kill him, charge him with interest. He didn't know. But when Esau saw him, the Bible said that he ran towards Jacob. Now just imagine, if this was that culture and he ran towards Jacob, we would run like, forget the horse don't move fast enough. But he came, and the Bible says he fell upon his neck and he kissed him. The prophetic word of his father says that after you become restless, which meant that a lot of times you're running from a past that is no longer after you. You are trying and intimidated and fearful of something that doesn't even exist anymore. See, if Jacob wouldn't have made peace or shook hands with his past, he could never go into his future. Many of us don't understand that what's holding us back now is not our future, it is our past. We're afraid that things are going to catch up with us. You know, I remember when I started my academic career after being a high school dropout. I always felt like I knew I had gaps in the fundamentals of education because I wasn't serious, and neither were my teachers that concerned about me in the Chicago school district, Inglewood. They weren't that concerned either. And I used to fear in undergraduate and graduate school that eventually these people are going to realize I don't belong here. I'm not college material. I didn't get a regular high school diploma. And it took me a while to come to grips with my past, that as long as I look at myself through the lens of dropping out of high school, not finishing in my high school and finishing at Dawson Skills Center, as long as I looked at myself through those lenses, it then limited what I saw myself being able to become. Some of you don't understand. Your biggest enemy are your past failures. You are not your past. And God has a way of taking care of your past for you. God blessed Esau so much that when Jacob tried to give him something, Esau said, man, I don't need nothing. I've been blessed. But Jacob said, I insist that you take this because I want to make peace with my past. Let me tell you something. There's some people you need to take your pen, paper, a laptop, a notepad, and whatever it is, and you need to write them a letter. You've been hating on them all this time, but if it had not been for their experiences, you wouldn't be where you are. You need to be telling some folk, let me give you a peace offering because I need to shake hands with my past. See, you don't understand. You can't go forward until you take care of what's backward. You've got to step into your new. The Bible teaches us on many, many occasions that people of God would not have gotten where they were had they not had the ability to shake hands with their past and step into their future. Joseph had to shake hands with his past when his brothers came to him after selling him into slavery, and then being put in a ditch, and so a pit, and then sold to Potiphar's house, and then imprisoned. But listen, he could not hold on to that and be able to really reign in the palace. When his brothers came and it was a time for revenge, he didn't take revenge. He looked at his brothers, brought them in, fed them, hugged them, and loved on them because he understood, I can't go anywhere with bitterness in my heart. I can't go anywhere with unforgiveness in my heart. Some of you don't understand the baggage that unforgiveness carries. And when you truly can't forgive everyone, you truly cannot love anyone. There is something in your heart. You have to understand that you've got to shake hands with your past. You got to get up and get over it so you can get to it. And I'm going to say it again. You got to get up. You got to get over it so you can get to it. Job had to shake hands with his past before he could experience the blessing of the double for his trouble. David had to shake hands with his past, forgive the evil that Saul tried to do to him. And when he had an opportunity to take care or to take his life, he just cut his hair to let him know, listen, let's let bygones be bygones. Listen, you cannot let what has happened in your life change you and make you the kind of person God doesn't want you to be. You want to be free. You want to be able to say, I love everybody. I don't hate anybody. I'm not worried about my enemies coming after me because I've shook hands with my past. I'm not worried about my former life coming against me because I shook hands with my past. I'm not worried about failing because I shook hands with my failing, because I know just because I fail doesn't mean I'm a failure. That just meant that I didn't accomplish it that time. But because I shook hands with my past, I'm still going for it. I cannot stop. And just like Jacob, he had that kind of dog in his spirit that says, I won't let go until you bless me. You've got to shake hands with your past. Thus, the Bible speaks of many people having to shake hands with their past. Saul of Tarsus had to deal with his past. He writes even in his writings, I'm the least of the apostles. But yet, he was diligent about his call. Peter had to shake hands with his past, having denied Jesus Christ 3 times. See, sometimes you've done things that you know are wrong. You got to learn not just to forgive other people, you've got to learn how to forgive yourself. Sometimes you were the culprit of the pain, but I come to tell you today, God said, shake hands with your past. Rahab had to shake hands with a past. Even though she knew she was a prostitute, she allowed to hide the Israel spies. Because of what she did, God allowed her to shake hands with her past and put her in the lineage of Jesus, because she was willing to shake hands with her past. The thief on the cross, talking to Jesus, he was willing to shake hands with his past. He said to the other thief, we deserve to be here, but he didn't do anything, but we deserve it. And he asked Jesus, can you remember me when you get in your kingdom? He was able to shake hands with his past, and Jesus said, today you will be with me in paradise. Moses had to shake hands with his past. Samson had to shake hands with his past. He wouldn't have never tried to use strength unless he forgave himself for telling Delilah where his strength lies. Jabez had to shake hands with his past. The Philippian jailer had to shake hands with his past. Dana Carson had to shake hands with his past. Rachel Carson had to shake hands with the past. Lou Williams had to shake hands with his past. Shannon Williams had to shake hands with the past. James Ahedibo had to shake hands with the past. Alice Purnell had to shake hands with his past. Lynette Campbell had to shake hands with the past. Cindy Perry had to shake hands with the past. Stephen Parrish had to shake hands with the past. I don't know about you, but I've shook hands with my past, and I'm pressing on towards my future. God's got a plan.
If you are in need of prayer or someone to talk to, our online ministers are available just for you right now in the chat. We invite you to join us again for one of our powerful worship experiences that happen every week. Sundays at 8 a.m. for our worship experience at our Alvin campus. 10 a.m. is the Extraordinary Worship Encounter at the R.O.C.K Cathedral at our Broadway campus. Then Sundays at 6 p.m. on our Edgebrook campus is our Miracles, Signs, and Wonders service, where you can receive the miracle and breakthrough you've been looking for. You can also join us during the week on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. at our Edgebrook campus, where we are understanding the Bible with Dr. Dana Carson, and you get your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to Dana Carson on YouTube and follow the Reflections of Christ's Kingdom on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the R.O.C.K is doing. You can also get connected with us on our website, therockWOI.com. Again, thank you for worshiping with us. Be blessed.